Good morning. I hope everybody's having a beautiful morning. I am moving a little slow this morning, but that's okay. Everybody has great mornings and everybody has slow mornings. That's part of the journey, right? So today's theme is a river cuts through a rock, not because of its power, but its persistence. I think we forget that we have a lot within us, a lot more resources than we think we do. And I think sometimes we forget that we are much stronger than we think we are. Life is not easy. Life is hard. And the obstacles that come our way are just, there's a lot of them. And I get that. And I've certainly been in the down in the dumps because of my circumstances before. So I understand. But you pick yourself up and you continue on because it will work out. It'll be okay. I'm going to read from I Come as a Brother this morning. In the moment, you will be so much more alive in all experiences to all sights and sounds. When you are really here, it is all so bold. You become bored with life because you think you know everything, but you don't know anything. And the reason you don't know anything is because every moment is new. And how could you know something that is always new? Life becomes exciting if you make each moment something new to experience. This newness is where joy of life comes from. Life is never old or finished. It is just new and as young as the moment you were born. The picture that's on opposite of that passage is one of my favorites. I love the tree that's turned and twisted and that's turned around and still leaves out. I think we forget that we are part of the earth. We are in the earth. We are part of the creatures in its ecosystem. And when life is hard, it's because it's new and it's an obstacle and it's something to learn from and be joyful of. And no, I don't enjoy struggling with finances, and I don't enjoy having sick kids, and I don't enjoy when I've lost jobs or I've had to deal with change that was not what I expected. But I found moments of joy and moments of life and excitement, and sometimes acknowledging that the lesson is there brings me peace, because I don't always enjoy the journey, that piece of the journey. But I know that at the other end, I'll have a lesson. I'll have something that I can find joy in. And that keeps my zest for life, I guess. I've been depressed. I've been depressed in a bad way before, a couple times. And where you can't see the light, you can't see the joy, you can't see the positive on the other side. You eventually get there if you just hold on and ride the wave. You get there. It's like the river that cuts through the rock. Eventually you get there. You can get to the other side. But you can't always see it when you're in the middle of it. There's a couple things going on in the universe right now. We're moving into it's a super moon, super full moon. That's a blue moon, so it's the second full moon in a month. And it's an eclipse. So there's a lot of changing, transformative energy out there. And it's wreaking havoc on a lot of people's lives, and it's very painful for people. And I think that something people forget in our modern society is that we are part of that universe, and we are all interconnected, and we are all affected by all these changes, planetary changes and life changes and changes around us. in the earth. And my consolation to you is that when you find your peace and you center and you find the joy in the things that are going well, or you find the lessons, even though it's still challenging, it's not as insurmountable. It's a week of change in my world. A friend of mine died. A friend of mine's child is still missing. Another friend of mine, he had 2 people die in a fire yesterday morning. The kids are sick this morning. It's one thing after another. So find your peace, find your center. It'll be okay. It's a lot right now. And know that we are all in this together, and yet we are all alone in that, in the sense that it's our journey and it's our place to find our peace so that we can be there for each other. So I'm going to find my peace here in just a minute. I'm going to go do my meditation. I think I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go to the gym later, and we're going to find that peace together, right? Have a blessed day. Have a beautiful weekend. I will see you again next week in prayer. And I hope that you find this theme a bolster. I hope you find the bolster up so that you can pull yourself up and be with yourself so that you can be there for others. We need each other. We do. Oh, history. I forgot. I was about to say goodbye, but we have a day in history. Today's the 26th of January. Each year on the second new moon after the winter solstice, which normally occurs in or around this time of the month, the traditional Chinese New Year begins and is celebrated for 2 consecutive weeks until the full moon. On the first day of the new year, ancestral spirits are honored and houses are decorated with strips of red paper to attract good luck and ward off evil ghosts. A lantern festival and dragon parade traditionally take place on the last night of the New Year celebration. Oh, that's really nice. Second new moon after the winter solstice. You know, that's really interesting. I had read this before and forgotten it. I didn't realize it's kind of like the Christian Easter, which is I always love this part. It's the full moon after the spring equinox, the Sunday after the first full moon. So it's the first Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox determines when Easter is. And the Chinese New Year starts on the second new moon after the winter solstice and is celebrated for 2 consecutive weeks until the full moon. If you think about how our ancestors looked at the world and how they gauged things, they looked at the stars, people. They looked at the moon. They looked at the influences of our lives. And today, science throws it all out. Because that's hocus pocus. But there will come a time in our lives, and we're finding it more and more as people dive into proving the metaphysical in a scientific way. We're going to get there. It's a beautiful thing. It makes me so happy. So have a beautiful day, and I will see you next week.